Good evening and welcome to ECISD Live. My name is Scott Muri and I'm the superintendent of Ector County Independent School District. And it is a pleasure to have you with us this evening. We have an exciting lineup of guests this evening and a really great topic, an important topic for seniors and families in Ector County Independent School District. But before we jump into tonight's topic, I would like to provide you with just a few district updates to let you know what's going on. First of all, Happy New Year and welcome to the 2021. It is we are grateful to be here. I know 2020 had lots of interesting memories for each of us, but I certainly was grateful to see this new year come in, and we hope it is a great new year for each of you. ECISD continues to deal with COVID-19 as we deal with it as a community, a state, a nation, and a world. And we are excited that vaccines have arrived in Ector County. ECISD is working closely with our medical community to ensure that our teachers are on the front line of this vaccination opportunity. And we hope to be sharing some really exciting news with our staff members in the days to come. But again, we are partnering with our medical community. Specifically, Ratliff Stadium will be one of the locations in which vaccines will be administered to residents throughout Ector County. We're excited to be able to provide that location and work with our community to make the vaccine available for anyone that is interested. And more information can be found. Our hospitals, our health department, and our emergency responders are providing information about the vaccination, where the locations are located, where you can become vaccinated. And again, we encourage that opportunity for our community and are excited to be able to bring that to the educators in ECISD. We continue to support virtual learning in ECISD as we started this new semester. 65% of the students in Ector County are having their learning experience in a face-to-face environment, and 35% of our students are continuing to learn in a virtual world. And while some of our virtual students are having a significant amount of success, it's really working well for them, and we're grateful that they're receiving the support from teachers. We're grateful that those students are having a positive experience. We do recognize, however, that some students are not having a successful experience in the virtual environment. And we're going to begin transitioning those students back to a face-to-face environment. So any student in ECISD that is currently making Ds or Fs, or if a student is not attending school, virtual school on a regular basis, parents, we're going to reach out to you and your principal will begin transitioning you back to campus. You'll be hearing more information about that in the coming weeks. Right now, the COVID virus in our community is still a little bit, our numbers are a little bit elevated, and we've got some work to do to bring those numbers down. But once we begin to see the COVID-19 numbers in our community recede, then we'll begin transitioning some of our students back to a face-to-face environment. Again, students that are making Ds and Fs, as well as students that are not attending school on a daily basis, will begin to make that transition. Students, those of you that are having a positive experience in the virtual world, we encourage you to continue to enjoy that experience and do well, and we're excited for the success that you're having. And our calendar, we put up our calendar for the 21-22 school year, actually several calendars. We would like to get your feedback. So parents, if you're watching tonight and you have information, you have thoughts about the upcoming school calendar, we encourage you to visit the ECISD website to provide your feedback. That calendar, actually 3 calendar options, will be posted for the next couple of weeks. So parents, we encourage you to visit the website, review those 3 calendar options, and let us know which of those calendars you prefer so that we can take a recommendation to our Board of Trustees in the coming weeks for approval. All right. We are, speaking of calendar, this time of year in the calendar is an important time of year for seniors, not only in Ector County, but across the country. And it is the time of year in which the deadline to complete the FAFSA is narrowing. So tonight we're going to explore what is the FAFSA, why is it so important, and how do students and do families complete that form. Sometimes we might consider that form a pretty daunting task. And so we're going to introduce you to some folks tonight that are going to offer some help and assistance to families that are currently engaged with the completion of that important form. But we're going to start tonight with Alicia Severson. So Alicia Severson is one of our assistant superintendents, and she oversees our counseling team and all of the systems and processes that support our family. So Alicia, we welcome you to tonight's show, and thank you for joining us. And we want to start with, first of all, the what. We use the acronym FAFSA, and sometimes we make the assumption that people know what that means, but what does that mean?
Well, I'm happy to share. Not only sometimes do we not know what it means, but it's also hard to say. So let me tell you a little bit about what the letters FAFSA, what that stands for. So I'm looking at my notes here. FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And the application for FAFSA can be found on studentaid.gov. It's completely online, takes about an hour to complete. And this is where you'll go to apply for financial aid, but not only financial aid, they'll use this information for scholarships. So if you have questions about FAFSA, I encourage you to reach out to your campus counselor. And something that's important to note, we actually engage in a pretty serious competition through Chiefs for Change called the FAFSA Fast Break, which is also difficult to say. And we certainly want to have more students complete the FAFSA here in Ector County than in other districts across the nation. This isn't just a Texas competition.
Sure.
This is a national competition. And then Dr. Muri, if you don't mind, I also want to talk about the TASPA. We don't hear about TASPA as much as FAFSA, but it is the Texas application for financial aid, and it is equally important. So it is a paper pencil application. It's not completed online, and it allows you to submit your financial aid to a college of choice. Now, the difference between FAFSA and TASPA, FAFSA is your federal financial aid, and TASPA is your state financial aid. So if you are a non-citizen, but you are a Texas resident, then you need to complete the TASPA instead of FAFSA. There's also more information on your campus website. And again, your campus counselors can assist with that.
I think we've got a slide, Alicia. We'll pull up a slide that I think has a lot of the information that you just shared.
Yep.
We can kind of see tonight. So you see the differences, FAFSA and TASPA. And you know, the first thing on the slide that catches my attention is actually the dollar signs at the top. You know, that's fascinating. So the average cost for public universities, you know, is significant. That's a lot of money.
Absolutely. And that $25,626, Dr. Muri, is the annual average cost. So that's every year, the average to go to school at a public university in the state of Texas, if you live in Texas, is $25,626. If you live out of state and you want to attend a college in the state of Texas, out of state tuition is an average of $40,155. So those financial aid and scholarship dollars are critical.
Yep.
That's a lot of money every year.
You know, and the nice thing, as you look at the slide, you know, one of the words on the slide is free. This is a free application for free money for our kids and federal money. So this money comes from the federal government, and it is available for any student that applies. Does every student get FAFSA money?
So I will say, Dr. Muri, that FAFSA, and this is in addition to the things that are on the slide, in the 21-22 school year, which is next year, it will become a graduation requirement. So every student needs to complete their FAFSA, their TASPA, or sign an opt-out request in order to graduate from high school beginning next year. So it's very, very important. Graduation
requirement. I actually applaud the state of Texas for doing that. You know, it emphasizes the importance of the completion of that document. So good. Glad to hear that. And the TASPA is the Texas version. Does a student complete both or one, or do you know what?
Well, we actually have some experts on the screen.
Oh.
If we can toss it to one of our college and career counselors, I think they can probably answer that question.
There we go. You know, this is pretty complex, and I'm glad we have invited some experts. So let's take a minute and bring a couple of our experts to the screen. I want to take a minute to introduce Angelica Morena and Jennifer Perkins. These ladies are counselors in ECISD, and they truly are the experts because they live in this world every day. Ladies, welcome to ECISD Live.
Thank you, Dr. Muri.
Thank you, Dr. Muri.
You're very welcome. So tell us, so the question I just asked Ms. Severson is, we're still on the what, but should a student complete both of these, one of these? Kind of what determines what a student completes? Which one of these?
Well, the FAFSA is going to be completed if you're a U.S. citizen or a resident.
Okay.
If you don't have documentation to be in the United States, but you're a resident of Texas, then you can do the TASPA. So you certainly don't fill out both, only one.
Okay. So, but what I heard you say is, so if for a student that has their citizenship, the FAFSA would probably be the important one. But for our students, we have some students that we serve that do not have citizenship yet, and so they would fill out the TASPA, which gives them opportunities in Texas. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Now the big question of the day: why? Why in the world should a student, Jennifer, complete the FAFSA? What's the big reason?
One of the biggest reasons why students should complete the FAFSA application, it is an opportunity for students to see how much financial aid is out there for students to receive. Like you were saying earlier, the average cost of tuition is $26,000 for a full year. The FAFSA application leads the pathway to grants. So all the various grants that are out there that students can take advantage of. They have student loans, work study programs, and most importantly, scholarships. Scholarships are now filtered through that financial aid application. So once a student completes their financial application and it goes off to that respective university or college's financial aid office, any kind of scholarship that the student has been awarded will funnel through that financial aid office. They will not disperse any kind of scholarship money without that application being completed. So it makes it even more important now for students to get those applications completed, save yourself a little frustration and stress in that process, and allow our school counselors and us to assist those students with that application.
You know what you said, just to clarify, I think you said something pretty critical that many people may miss. So not only does the FAFSA allow access for our kids to federal money, but colleges and universities use that very same form in conjunction with all of their other scholarships. Correct, Jennifer?
That is correct. Any kind of academic merit, athletic, fine arts, private, or even community service scholarships, they're all filtered through that financial aid office, and students would have to have their financial aid application completed.
Yep, that's so critically important. Angelica, so as you think about the FAFSA, does every student get money by filling out the FAFSA? Is it an automatic?
It's not an automatic. It is based on economic need as far as Pell Grant money goes. Okay. But like Jennifer was saying, it's so important to fill it out, whether you make $10,000 a year or $200,000 a year, because the schools are going to look to see if you qualify for federal funds before they'll release any institutional funds.
And institutional funds would be perhaps scholarships of merit, like academic scholarships, athletic scholarships. Academic,
athletic, community-based scholarships, anything that they offer, they're first going to take a look at if you qualify for federal funds first.
Yeah, I think that's important because, and I've heard this, I was a high school principal and I had parents that would tell me, oh, we make too much money to qualify, so therefore we're not going to fill out the form. What would you advise that parent?
I would advise them to go ahead and fill it out. I've seen situations where the parents make a good $150,000, maybe $200,000 a year, but then their student is super smart. They've excelled at their SAT, their rank is high as well, and they're qualifying for money, but because that FAFSA wasn't complete and not completed on time, they missed out on certain scholarships that they could have been awarded.
Jennifer, talk to us about the TASPA for just a minute. So once again, the TASPA would be more focused on students that may not have their citizenship, so they would still qualify for some money in Texas. Talk a little bit more about it. What specifically would a student qualify for if they completed the TASPA?
Sure. So the TASPA is a paper pencil application. If you're applying to multiple colleges or universities, unfortunately, you have to make copies and send those off to those financial aid offices. But students, they qualify for state funding. So our Texas grant is out there. There's a Teach grant. They also will qualify for any institutional scholarships or work study programs that particular college or university has to offer that student. So there's many benefits to the TASPA just as much as there are for the FAFSA.
Good. All right. Yeah. And as you remember from those big numbers, college is expensive. And, if our kids can have, dollars to attend, that's going to be important. Talk to me, ladies, about just your experiences with kids and getting money. Do you see, is this a barrier? Are the financial costs of college a pretty significant barrier for our students?
Go ahead, Angelica. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. It really is. For many of the students that come in, a lot of them, especially the ones that are lower socioeconomic, they don't realize that there are funds out there that can help them to attend. And so just convincing them to apply, you should just see their face when you tell the parents, you know what, not only did you qualify for full Pell Grant, which is like $6,795 right now for a year, but because you applied before the deadline of whatever school you're going to, now they're going to pay all your tuition and fees. And so it makes such a huge difference. Their eyes get really big, and it's just so neat to be able to just get the word out there to get students to apply so that they can see what they qualify for. Good
stuff. Jennifer, do you have something to add to that?
Oh, I was just going to say, we see it every day. Students will put up those barriers with, well, I'm not going to go to college, or, the big barrier that we face is, well, my parents make too much money, I'm not going to apply for the financial aid. And, we just really try to encourage the students. There's first generation scholarships out there, again, the academic and merit-based scholarships. But I think the biggest where we struggle with the gap is making those students aware that tuition is expensive. And if you can get a little bit of that money for free and go to college for free, that's a huge benefit. Regardless of whatever your status is, there's so many opportunities for money. And actually, statistics say that, at least over $1 million to $3 million go unclaimed every single year because students simply will not fill out that financial aid application or even any kind of type of scholarships. And we struggle with having students fill out those scholarships. And it is extremely important that they do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Statistically, there is a lot of money left on the table every single year that is not awarded in scholarships simply because students do not complete the FAFSA. They either, to your point, they think they make too much, or they don't even think they qualify. They simply don't take the time to do it and leave free money on the table. I remember a story as a high school principal of a student, and I vividly remember this conversation with him and then his mother following, and he had dropped out of a class, and the reason he dropped out of the class is senior year, because his mother told him that they didn't have the money for him to go to college. And so he changed his schedule, and his mother simply didn't know about the FAFSA, didn't know that they qualified for opportunities. And so we introduced that family to that opportunity, and it was a life changer. In fact, ladies, tonight we have actually one of our former students with us who has a very similar story. Karime Gutierrez is a 2017 graduate of Odessa High School, and she was one of those students that, in working with her family, discovered the FAFSA, and it changed her life. And she's here tonight to tell us a little bit about her story. So Karime, welcome to ECISD Live, and congratulations on your success. But tell us about your journey to the FAFSA and what that was like for you. All right, it appears that she may have some, there she's back. All right. Connie, so while you were transitioning on, we introduced you, and tell us a little bit about your story. So you're a 2017 graduate of Odessa High School, and the FAFSA has helped you on your journey to where you are today. So tell us a little bit about that journey and your involvement with FAFSA.
Okay, yeah, so I was 2017, I was at OHS, and in 2016, Ms. Moreno, she sent out a text saying, seniors fill out your FAFSA. And I was really confused. I didn't really know about FAFSA. So I went to her office, asked her about it, and then I got the paperwork, did everything. And so after I graduated, I decided to stay here to get my associates at Odessa College in theater. And because of the FAFSA, I was able to use that for my tuition, and then anything left over from FAFSA or scholarship money, I was able to use that to buy school supplies, textbooks, anything like that, like my lunch and stuff. So it was really a blessing to get the FAFSA because it really did help me.
Just to clarify, so you not only used FAFSA money to help you pay for tuition and books, but you used it to pay for some of those other things that, like food, things that you have to have in order to survive. Interesting. Good. So where are you now?
Now I'm online at Texas Tech with a major in human sciences.
And FAFSA still providing that opportunity?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. So I did. I actually did FAFSA, and then I had 2 scholarships and Hazelwood. And the cool thing about one of my scholarships is I didn't even apply for it. It's just given to you because you're a major in human sciences. So they reached out to me and they're like, "Oh, well, you have a scholarship because you're majoring in our department. So they'll go ahead and apply, and then we'll apply it to your account." I was like, "Oh, okay." And so yeah, FAFSA really did help me too with Texas Tech. Like I said, whatever was left over, whatever gets unused for my FAFSA, Hazelwood, stuff like that, I was able to use it for bills, for my big textbooks, my school supplies, paying for the bus sometimes, because sometimes I have to go across campus, and you could use like little places, like little cars that they would have for you, and they would charge you like $5, and they'd give you safely across campus. And then everywhere too, like everywhere you'd go around the block of Texas Tech, there's restaurants and stuff. So I was able to like get breakfast and lunch and stuff all because of FAFSA. So I was always provided with things. So I was,
That's good. So that little investment of time that you spent in 2017 continues to pay dividends for you, it sounds like.
Yes, definitely. Because if I didn't do the FAFSA for Odessa College, I would have, like my friend actually, I asked her, I was like, "Why didn't you do the FAFSA?" I was like, "You would have qualified." And she's like, "I didn't know about it." And she had been paying out of pocket. So had I not done the FAFSA, and I still didn't know about Hazelwood until my 4th semester there, or my 3rd semester there, because I finished in 3 semesters. My 3rd semester there is when I found out about Hazelwood. So had Ms. Moreno not told me about FAFSA, I would have had to been paying out of pocket or doing payment plans.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so your other scholarship, the Hazelwood Scholarship, it sounds like that scholarship found you because you had completed the FAFSA. Is that correct?
Yes. And then so my counselor at OC, she pulled me in. She's like, "Okay, you've done the FAFSA, you did everything." And then she looked over my file again. And she's like, "Oh, so your father's a veteran?" I was like, yes, ma'am, he is. And she's like, "Oh, well, you qualify for Hazelwood. So you get like a certain amount of hours because your dad didn't go to college, but he served. All those hours shift to you or any other sibling."
Wow. That's great. Good.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dad, and thank you, FAFSA.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
That's good. So tell us in the future. So you will graduate. When are you expected to graduate from Texas Tech?
I'm expected to graduate this December 2021. And then after that, I'm actually going for my master's in human science, hopefully at Texas Tech. And then from there, I'm wanting to go to have my own private in-home daycare.
Wow.
So that's what my end goal.
So are you coming back to Odessa?
Maybe. I don't know. I do love Lubbock, but I'm in Odessa now, but I love Lubbock because like I don't know, like that feeling of walking on campus at Texas Tech, like It just gives me chills. Like, I don't know, like it's cliche, but going around with my little bag with books and my little bus stop that I go around, and it's such a beautiful campus. Like it was amazing, like that college experience. So hopefully maybe I'll come back to Odessa after my.
That's great. It sounds like you're having an incredible experience, and that is because you filled out a form. Think about that. You filled out a form in 2017, and look where you are today. Of course, you probably also did well at Odessa High School. You're probably a pretty good student, and that certainly helped a lot. But the dollars that have gotten you to where you are today are a part of the free money that's available with the FAFSA. So,
Yeah.
hey,
The FAFSA,
go ahead.
oh no, yeah, the FAFSA, yeah, like I said, it really helped me. Had I not, I don't know that I would have been able to pay for college. I probably would have stopped going to college had I not had the benefits of FAFSA, because it would have been really difficult for me to pay out of pocket and everything. So I'm really grateful that Miss Moreno sent out that text that one day, and what I was like, all right, so I just booked it and got all my stuff, all my papers and everything.
Yeah. That one text. Sometimes it's that one message that if we respond to it, it gives you it. And that text message was very valuable for you, it sounds like. Yeah, good. So, hey, thank you for being with us tonight. And congratulations. It's fun to see an ECISD graduate experiencing as much success as you are. And so all of us, the 4,200 employees and the 32,000 kids in this district, we congratulate you and wish you nothing but the best during this year and towards your graduation in December of 2021. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right, counselors, she gave you a lot of credit. And she said it was a simple text message that helped her learn this all about the FAFSA. And so, Angelica, it sounds like that text message came from you. So what else do you all do to inform kids and families about the FAFSA? I think it's a little bit more than a text message sometimes. So, Angelica, let's start with you. What goes on to inform our kids and families about this process? How do you support them?
Oh my goodness. Well, we go through classes. We do pins, the usernames and passwords in government, economics. We post things in Google Classroom. We talk to the teachers. We send emails. This year we even started doing TikToks so that the students would get into the FAFSA routine. It's really kind of ongoing. Anything we can think of to add, I don't know, to get that student to say, hey, like Karima said, it was a text message. It was a remind saying, hey, guys, you need to fill out your FAFSA. And you'll have the one that listens one way. You'll have another student that it touches a different way, but just getting the message out there. We have parent nights. We have parent meetings during the days. We're going to start having Money Mondays, 1 to 5 on Mondays in the library for parents and students. Every school, we have 5 high schools, and every school has something going at their high school to help our students to fill out the FAFSA and the TASPA. So please, parents, feel comfortable to come and let us help you so that you can get your student to school, into college. I know it's something that, worries all of us. Are we going to have enough money? Are we going to be able to send our child? Just know that we're there to help you at all of the high schools.
Yeah, you're right. Every high school has counselors that are there to support, kids and families along this journey. Jennifer, what are some things that we've got a slide on the screen that kind of talks about some of the basic things that you all do? But you're at Permian, so what are some ways that you support kids in their journey to complete the FAFSA?
Sure. So one of the major things that we do that I have to constantly remind our students is at the beginning of the school year, we created a senior 2021 Google Classroom. Both OHS and us, we created these classrooms. Every senior is loaded into this Google Classroom. We started putting up resources before even October 1st came. But everything you want to know about FAFSA is loaded on our Google Classrooms. It's on our college and career websites. We had 2 parent meetings this week, virtual parent meetings, which were super successful. We also go through the government and economics classes. We were doing that this week with our students at Permian. And then we will start doing what we're calling FAFSA fast breaks. So that's going to be more towards our parents. We're going to set up those in the evening for our parents. So basically kind of like a Zoom meeting, but we'll break them out in breakout rooms, and our financial aid officer over at Odessa College will come in, and we'll all be there to assist parents with specific questions.
Yep.
We know that filling out the FAFSA can be a private manner, so we definitely want to respect our student and parents with that, which makes Zoom and FAFSA or Zoom and the breakout rooms a success for us. But we're seeing a lot of interest here in the last couple of days. Students are really engaged. I think when you say state priority deadline, they're like, oh my gosh, we have to get this done like right now. Although there is a state priority deadline, we have to go back and remind them that there's not a hard set deadline when FAFSA has to be completed. If I had to say there was a set deadline, I would encourage parents to at least have it completed by March 15th. April 1st is usually when the colleges and universities want a decision made whether their student's going to attend their university or not. And a lot of that is based on what they are receiving for financial aid.
Absolutely. They're already starting to make those decisions. And so, the money begins to dwindle. That pile of money gets smaller and smaller the longer our families wait. Yes.
That is correct.
Yep.
That is absolutely correct. We were preaching that this week to all of our students, letting them know that if they don't complete before the state priority deadline, their application is not going to be in that priority application stack. So we really are encouraging our students to get that completed as quick as possible. We know that there are barriers, but just complete it. One thing I wanted to add to was, with the economic downturn in this area, we understand and universities and colleges understand that there are special circumstances that can and have occurred. So just because a family has made a certain amount in the year 2019 may not necessarily be what they are making now. Sure. In the present day. And so these financial aid offices have special circumstances forms. So if that has happened to your family, those forms are available at those specific institutional websites, their financial aid websites, or you can contact Angelica and I. We can lead you to where those forms are, but we want parents and students to not feel discouraged because there is an economic downturn right now. The universities are recognizing that, and those are manual adjustments that would have to be made at those financial aid offices.
No, that's
so
good.
We can help you out with that.
Yeah, and that's good information because that's kind of new this year. A lot of our, the COVID-19 has created some very difficult situations for our families, and it's nice to know that the FAFSA has some allowances that can be made because of those situations. That's good. And Angelica, you all are continuing. There's more work to be done. We've got a slide up right now that, and you alluded to it earlier, that all 5 high schools are providing some things. And you want to talk about what's coming up?
Okay, at all the schools. Well, for Odessa High School, we're going to have our Money Mondays. So beginning February 1st, every Monday, you can come 1 to 5 in the library. We will help parents and students with FAFSA and TASPA. We kind of spread out. Everybody has a laptop, and we do like every few tables so that we're far apart, but we can give you hands-on help. PHS is completing right now through government and economics classes, and they're going to have their fast break January 20th through February the 16th at 6:30 via Zoom. They're going to follow up in the government and economics classes February through March. NTO is having Odessa College provide assistance January 19th, 9:30 to 12:30, as you see on the screen.
Yep.
And then NTO, OCA, and OC Techs are also going through AVID classes. And everyone, just because we don't have it up on the upcoming events, we help individually every day. So the college counselors and your chorale counselors, your den counselors, the counselors at your schools can assist you daily. You can call and make an appointment, and we will be available to help you.
No, we appreciate that. And our counselors, again, that's your last comment is, I think, critically important. Our counselors at all 5 high schools are available daily. And so call for an appointment. And again, it doesn't have to be face-to-face, it can be over Zoom, and get the information. But we are here to help. That's why we're on tonight, because we want our families to have the kind of support that you need and the kind of support that our students deserve. So thank you, ladies, for the work that you do every day to support our kids. So hang on, we've got one more guest with us tonight, and then we will respond to any questions that we have. Just because a student graduates, now Jennifer and Angelica get to be at that graduation event and send those kids on their way after having completed the FAFSA, but we don't forget our students once they graduate. We want to continue to support those students even after graduation, really for the next 6 years until they finish some form of post-secondary credential. And so this year we made a new investment in ECISD, an investment in to and through. We want all of our students, our high school students, to get to a post-secondary experience. So to the military, to a technical institution, a 2-year college, or a 4-year college or university. And we want them to make it through it. We know that kids need support in order to do that. So I'd like to introduce Amy Anderson. Amy is going to tell us a little bit about to and through in ECISD, kind of what that means, and then how we support kids. So Amy, welcome to ECISD Live. Tell us a little bit about to and through. What is it and why is it important?
We are creating a success center. And so once you graduate from Odessa High, Permian, OCA, OC-TEX, or NTO, ECISD is still there to support you. Mm-hmm. So that's a new effort that we're making. FAFSA, as we're talking about today, and college is a family investment. And so we want you to consider us to be your forever family. Once you're ECISD, you're always ECISD. And we want to take care of our community near and far, because that's what families do. In our Success Center, we offer tutorials. So that can be in content area for our current students and our alumni students, college courses, TSI prep, SAT prep, ACT prep. And then in addition to that, our focus for tonight is your FAFSA applications, college applications, Apply Texas. Those can be daunting things, especially if you've never done them before. Mm-hmm. But our high schools do a great job of supporting. If by chance you need extra help, we're always here. And then once you've graduated, many students don't realize that you have to apply for that FAFSA again. It's not a one-time and done. It's something that you do yearly. And so if after doing it 1 year, you come back and you're like, hey, I really don't remember how to do this, give us a call and we will walk you through that. We can do that through Zooms. We can do that. We can meet you here between our normal hours of 8 to 5. Or we can make a special arrangement with you if you're working and you can't come because of college and work and all of those things in an 8 to 5 time. We'll make arrangements to make an appointment with you and meet you at the time that's convenient.
Amy, how would a former graduate or a family get in touch with the Success Center?
So you can contact the AVID department. And that's at 456-8549. You can email myself. And then we also have a flyer that we have shared with all of the counselors. And I think that we'll show it later on. So we do have just a site you can just get on and Google us. And there we are. We're trying to get this information out in every way that we can. Follow us on social media. You can get to us through the website. Call us, email us.
I actually have that flyer's coming up. There it is.
Perfect. There it is. Yes.
So there you go. The to and through Success Center. So the contact information you can see at the bottom of that flyer, and we're available 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So you're welcome, and also the website. You're welcome to visit the Success Center.
And Ms. Liz Gray is great. That is actually a Google number. So we help students all the time. We have very flexible schedules. We've created it that way so that it's a very great system of synergy, serving students whenever they need the service.
Yep. So talk a little bit about AVID and FAFSA. I know for a student that has been through AVID, their senior year is probably not the first time they've heard the acronym or FAFSA.
No.
So when would an AVID student hear about FAFSA for the first time?
So we actually have AVID down in elementary. So they're already hearing about colleges and college needs. So it could be as early as pre-K3, as you mentioned earlier. But definitely in our middle schools, we start talking about FAFSA, what we need, preparing those things, and learning about our students and families and what those families need from us.
Yep. That's good. Again, the one advantage those AVID students have, and that's in ECISD, that's a lot of students, they've been introduced to the FAFSA and the importance of that. And again, tonight we had a wonderful example with one of our former students who is leveraging the FAFSA to ensure that she's well educated. That's good stuff. So anything else to add, Amy?
Miss Hunt actually just put in the site in the chat.
Okay.
And Miss Liz Gray is waiting by the phone for your call. We appreciate you having this tonight and allowing us to be a part of it. We just want you to know that once you've graduated, we understand that you still need support, and that's what we're here for.
And that's a new service from ECISD. And I think that's important. Just because you graduate from high school doesn't mean that we want to be finished. We know that you continue to need support, and that's what the To and Through program is all about. That's the Success Center. And so if we have any former graduates here tonight, and you need funding for to support your post-secondary dreams, then we can help you with that process. So once again, Amy, thank you for being with us tonight. The phone number is on the screen. Feel free to reach out at any point to anyone in the Success Center so that we can help you become successful on that journey. All right, and that'll wrap it up. So I want to take just a moment to say thank you, moms and dads and students, seniors that are watching tonight. Thank you for the investment, parents, that you make in your children. And if we can do anything to be of service and support to you, I hope that you understand that that's why we are here. Your counselors at all 5 of our high schools are available daily. Simply, pick up the phone, call those counselors, schedule an appointment. They're happy to help you fill out the FAFSA. And we recognize that form can be a bit daunting, but we are here to help you. There are events happening at each of the 5 high schools to provide support and assistance for your children, our seniors this year, and for you. And then don't forget the Success Center as well. Any graduates of ECISD that need support and assistance as you travel through, whether it's the military, a technical, or a 2 or 4 year institution, let us know how we can be of assistance to support you. I'm Scott Muri, Superintendent, ECISD. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a good evening.